Hey, listen up. Good morning. Good morning to you. It is a Friday. It's not just any Friday. It is a fearless Friday. And I just wanted to quickly just come and be with you all on a Friday, on this what I would consider a fearless Friday. And here is one of the reasons why I deeply care about my wife and I, we deeply care about developing people, developing leaders in particularly. And for me, I really value legacy leadership. And let me explain what I mean by that. I value legacy leadership where you prioritize legacy over accolades, transformation over transaction, and sustainable impact over short-term goals. And so as I was thinking on that and just thinking devotionally about something this week that I read earlier this week, I wanted to come on real quickly and I wanted to share something with you all on a Friday. And as I said, it's not just any Friday. I'm calling this is a fearless Friday. We want to be strong and courageous in the Lord as a leader, and not just as any leader, but as a legacy leader. And what are legacy leaders are so essential because how you lead yourself impacts how you lead others. So you're saying, hey man, what is it? What is it, Pastor, that you're wanting to say to me today on this Fearless Friday? Well, today may seem for some people just as another Friday. It's Friday, it's the end of the week. I just want to get through this moment. I want to get through the day. I have plans for the weekend. I know what I'm hoping to do. And so for some of us, it's just another Friday and it's an ordinary Friday. But I want to challenge you with something God was challenging me on to kind of really think differently about your Fridays and not just your Fridays, to really think differently about every day. Here's what I mean. Every day, God seeks to invade the ordinary. There are holy moments. He wants his holiness to invade the ordinary moments of life. And as I was really challenged on that devotionally, as I was reading this passage of scripture from First Samuel, from First Samuel 21, and David is on the run. He and his men are on the run from Saul. He's a legacy leader because how you lead yourself impacts how you lead others. And so he's doing his best to make sure he's leading himself well as he's leading these men well who are following him, and he's in exile. And so as he's on the run, he comes to this particular area, this particular city, and one of the priests there, David and his men are hungry because it's been days they've been without food. And David asks the priest, could you at least do you have any sort of bread, any food to provide for us? And the priest says to David, he says, hey, only thing I have, um, there's no ordinary bread. There's no ordinary bread. He basically says there's no bread that hasn't been consecrated to go before and sacrifice before Lord. So all I have is holy bread. And it says you can have that if the men have held themselves from women, if they haven't had any sort of relationships with any women. And what really caught my attention was David's response. I want to read this to you. 1 Samuel 21, verse 5 in the Amplified Version. It reads this way. David answered the priest, be assured that women have been kept from us in these 3 days since I set out. And the bodies of the young men were consecrated, meaning they were ceremonially clean, although it was an ordinary journey. Although it was an ordinary journey. So how much more will their vessels be holy today? Let me read it just real quickly from another translation. A New Living Translation reads this way. David said, don't worry. I never allow my men to be with women when we're on a campaign. And since they stay clean, even on ordinary trips, how much more on this one? Like David demonstrates to us, even as a legacy leader, that I don't treat any moment just as casual. I stay ready. I never know what could happen in the moment. I'm constantly preparing myself. I'm constantly thinking ahead. Hey, this may be a moment where God desires to intervene. And so here's what I want to challenge you with today. What looks common or ordinary to us today could serve as God's path to produce an extraordinary moment. What looks common or ordinary to us today could serve as God's path to produce an extraordinary moment. So don't overlook Friday. Don't overlook any day. Don't overlook this Friday. Look at it as today is a fearless Friday. I'm going to be an holy vessel in this ordinary moment. That's what God is inviting us to do. To be holy vessels for, as David says, a common journey. What is an ordinary, typical day? And you never know what God may be up to, how he's inviting you as a legacy leader, to be his vessel for what is an ordinary moment in everyone else's eyes. So how should I pray about this day? How should you really pray about this day? Here's a quick prayer I want to invite you to pray with me. First of all, is an invitation. God, invade my ordinary moments with your extraordinary presence. Invite God into this day like that. This is maybe a common day, an ordinary moments today on this Friday. But begin praying this. God, invade my ordinary moments with your extraordinary presence. Then the next part of your prayer ought to be that of holiness. Lord, help me carry your holiness into every context of my life. Lord, help me carry your holiness into every context of my life. Why carry his holiness? Because he says, be holy for I am holy. Don't just look at this as I'm just trying to get to the weekend. Be very intentional about today. And then pray a small sentence of transformation. Lord, transform my ordinary needs into opportunities for your glory. Transform my ordinary needs into opportunities for your glory. What's an ordinary need for yours today? It's going to be probably a simple meal. Probably as the end of the month is coming near, probably to pay a bill. You're going to encounter somebody. Maybe it's to feed family on the weekend, but it's an ordinary moment. And so, Lord, transform my ordinary needs into opportunities for your glory. And then close your prayer today with this expectation. God, I expect to encounter you in the mundane moments of today. Lord, I expect to encounter you in the mundane moments, in the ordinary moments of today. So don't just look at it as an ordinary Friday, as a common journey towards the weekend. Be fearless on this Friday. Be a holy vessel for God, because holy vessels can become an instrument for ordinary moments. And when we do that, we'll watch God create a path to produce an extraordinary miracle in our day. Be holy, for he is holy. Come on, be excited about this Fearless Friday. Live as a legacy leader who prioritizes legacy over your accolades. Prioritize today transformation over transaction. Prioritize sustainable impact over short-term goals. Be holy for an ordinary journey. God bless you and keep you on this Fearless Friday.